the way I ensure quality animals, I told you many times that the business of goat farming is all about the genetics, because I really have what they call the three triplets. One of the triplets, one is genetics, another one is nutrition, and another one is management. So basically, I want to explain to you the quality all lies on the genetics. Though nutrition also contributes a lot, but basically genetics is the basic. Me, what I do basically most of the time, I look for the best animals. I go to South Africa, I carry in the males that I really want, depending on the breed. But me, basically, whenever I go to South Africa, I bring in a Boa, I bring in a Savannah and a Kalahari, like the way I told you that I'm looking at the three animals. So the quality of the animals depends on the breed. Those are the three breeds that I was talking about, that really grows so fast, because what we really want in this business, it's all about the growth rate, the carcass weight, and the maturity weight. So how long does an animal take to get to slaughter weight? Which kind of meat does it give us, and what is the amount of meat? So when I look about, when I talk about of the quality of goats that we really have here in Uganda, those are the three breeds that I look at. So me, what I always do, when I import in a male, then and I cross it with the pures I have, or with the crosses, or with the local that I have, I'm improving on the genetics of the one that we have here. Let's say Mubende, we have Mubende goats here. And they are good animals. Actually, they are superior among the local inferior. But when you compare them to the superior ones, it's an inferior animal. So basically, when I cross the two, I get what they call the F1, which is 50%. And that's a very good quality. It can give us very good meats in a shorter period. So if I want to improve again to more other genetics, I get another pure male. Then I give it to that 50%, which is F1. And they become 75%. So that's how I ensure my quality of the animals. Keep improving and also avoid inbreeding. I don't allow a father to breed the kid. I don't allow a son to breed the mother. So that's how I always manage my quality.
What do you use?
Yeah, basically, for me, what I do, it's very easy actually to handle those animals. Whenever you produce an animal, you can even have, let's say, a flock of 100 or 200 goats. Then you give it 4 males. Whatever you produce from that flock, that is what you separate. You've seen my flocks. I have female winners. I have male winners. I have a main flock. So whatever I produce in that flock, I separate it. The females alone and the males alone. So males go to the male winners and the females go to the female winners. And those are the ones I sell. Those are the ones that either I decide to stay with them or to sell to other breeders. So that's what I do basically.
At what age do goats reach maturity?
Like sexual maturity, an animal wanting to be bred, sometimes if you're feeding your animal very well, 5 months an animal comes on heat, but it's not good to give your goat a male at 5 months. Why? Because it will divert all the nutrients from the mother, and it will give it to the kid. That might let an animal getting stunted. It's like the same way like in human beings. Early pregnancy really affects the host. It affects the mother. So basically, we always allow them to be bred at 8 months, so that an animal makes a year with the first production. So 8 months is the best time for an animal to be bred.
What tips do you have for farming for those beginners succeeding?
Yeah, the tips that I can give you, my viewers, first of all, be focused on what you want. Have a vision before you start a project. I don't want to look at what you're starting with, but I want you to look at where do you want the project to be. First and foremost, for a goat farming, I don't want you to see the project and say, I just only want to keep animals. Look at other alternatives. You get? After being with that vision and say, I want my project to be here. Because the tip or the vision I had was making a breeding farm, first of all. From doing a breeding farm, doing a goat grill, and then as well packing meat and export. Otherwise, most of you would think of export even before breeding. So me, basically, I've achieved the two. One, I've done breeding, and people have been buying goats from me for breeding, and I've done a grill. Actually, I have the first cafe in Kayunga called Ham Garden Cafe and Grill. So I roast my animals. From here, I carry them to my place. Let's say those rejects, the ones that we don't want, are the ones that are not good for breeding. I carry them to the grill. They roast them. So I double the profit. I even sometimes get the triple the profit that they would give me when they are buying one by one. So the tips I'm giving these farmers: one, ensure that you have quality feeds. Ensure that you get very good genetics. Ensure that you have very good management. The three things lies in your hands. So it's you to decide. Don't just go because I have seen somebody doing goat farming and I think I can just only have to go there. Know what you want, like which breed. After having your focus, look at what you want to do. Don't just go in for any breed. That will not help you as a farmer. I want you to look at the breed. I want you to look at the pastures, and then it will be a good way of starting. But basically, some of the farmers do a lot of mistakes. You start goat farming, you don't have pastures, and you think an animal will grow without pastures. Some people start goat farming, they don't have water. How do you expect an animal to grow? You have all that, but you have very poor genetics like locals. It is going to take for you a lot of time to get your money back. So basically, those are the tips that I could give to the young farmers.
How important is water? Water in goat farming?
What I can assure you as a senior farmer, don't even think about of doing a project without water. Because even in digestion of an animal, if there is no water, it can't take place. Or it can take place, but at a low pace. So never start a project without water. Water is a basic. Pasture is a basic. Then genetics and management will follow.
So what kind of feeds do they normally feed on?
Yeah, basically, some farmers do a lot of mistakes because they have big chunk of land and they think goats can only feed on those natural grasses. And then when you go through the process of the pasture, like in pasture management of their farms, most of the grasses that are there are not fed by the animals. And you find that a farmer is having a chunk of land without the real grass that the goats can eat. So basically, the pastures that we are looking at, goats in nature, they are browsers. They tend to eat on shrubs. So most of us don't have that chance of having those kind of land. What do we do? Because we need goat farming, we shall not force them to graze, because if you force them to graze, they can never give you results. They will always be sickly, they will not have very good mass because you're giving them an exposure to worms all the time. What do? You need to look at the supplementary feeds. Me here, I have a garden of alfalfa, and that is a source of protein. I think when I talk about of alfalfa, you people who have tried to do goat farming, you know what it means from all over the world. It's a world-class grass. So it's a very strong source of protein. So I plant alfalfa, I plant sugar grass. Sugar grass is a sorghum, which also has a protein. It also has a carbohydrate in it. We have Chloris guyana, Bracharia molato, and those are basically what I use more at my farm. But as per now, I'm giving more concentration on the alfalfa being my first priority, and the second being sugar grass.
How do you ensure security on this very big farm?
Farmers, I would like to inform you this, that security begins with you. Your tongue can turn your security to be unstable. that depends on the way how you work out with your workers. Most of the time, the stealing or theft at your farm is an inside job. So the moment you handle your workers very, very well, security will be guaranteed. Secondly, you have to work with police and the community around you. Most of you people do farming and you become a hostile person in the area because you need those people to fear you. But me, what I do as me, I have a fishing community around me, and those are the possible threats because you know fishing communities, people come from all over, they settle in. Some of them don't even have the papers, which shows where they are coming from, the LCs. But me, what I did, I went into that community. I showed them that they are not a threat. They must be my friends. And I showed how relevant I was. I went there, I cooked for them. Then after cooking for them, I asked them if they can give me their young boys that are not studying, so that I trained them. I showed them how to do goat farming. They did. They gave me all those people, and I trained them. So I started giving them out to my outgrowers, to my farmers. So that really helped me to pull out that group of people that would be thieves in future, because theft is between the age of 18 to 30 there, because somebody is not responsible enough but is thinking about of getting quick money. So those are the group that I eliminated, and I only stayed with old people in the area, and also stayed with young kids. So also the young kids, I brought them on board. I sometimes get time, roast for them goats. They come close to me. I take care of them. And that also become another good thing for farmers. Then thirdly, my strong farmers who are nearby me, what I always do, I give them some of the offspring, some of the babies that I produce, so that they can as well also use them and produce same animals like mine. So I create that friendship between me and my neighbors. So if you do farming, you're going to produce a lot of goats, and those a lot of goats, reserve some, you give them to your neighbors. It's not theirs, it's yours, but let them use them. When the males reach a time of serving the daughters, please bring them back. I give you another one. That will help you to do what they call genetical spillover, and as well creating friendship with the neighbors, as well helping you to do a strong security.
What steps have you taken to motivate your workers?
First of all, it's a very good question. And the way I work with my workers, one, if you're dealing with a group, find a group mate that can act in the same way. Like me and my level, I might not be able to interact very well with those workers, but I can interact with one of them. So what I did, I got a manager. It is the manager that connects me to the workers. I allow one person to lie to me or give me the information. The rest are my friends. Me, I supervise my manager, and I let the manager supervise his colleagues. So me, what I do, it is the manager that I pin on, and then also pins the rest. So basically, me, I value my workers more. Why? Because if every worker is handling over 300 goats, in actual sense, that's over 150 million. So if I don't respect that person that is handling my 150 million, then I have a problem. I have to respect him. I have to make sure that I do better things for him, because me, my workers, I pay them salary, I pay for their medical, I give them food, I give them a chef that cooks for them. So that those guys are really very busy and they have to concentrate on their work, and I pay their salary. That's the only thing I do. All my workers are my friends, and I'm not their boss. I'm a boss to their manager, and the manager is the boss of all of us.